we come to you weekly to discuss what's going on in University of New Mexico, Albuquerque, the state of New Mexico, involving Lobo Athletics, and our movement, the name, image, and likeness movement. It's an important part of the season now. We're starting men's basketball, women's basketball. We played a doubleheader on Friday. And our football team is in a really important position, fighting to stay bowl eligible, but I don't want anyone to forget, December 9th starts the football transfer portal. And what is that going to mean to UNM and the Lobos? If you follow that team this year, you know we've got some really top-notch student talent at UNM. Our motto at 505 is retain, recognize, and recruit. And we emphasize the retain. So, Lobo fans, you're interested in retaining, say, our quarterback? Well, 505sports.org, check it out. You can help us. We need everyone in New Mexico to jump on board. So, we're going to have a really special show with one of the greatest UNM athletes of all time, arguably, you could say the greatest, and I've said that. But we're going to focus on a little more than basketball, or I'm giving it away already. We're going to focus on some economic development, the possibilities of NIL, encouraging student athletes to remain in Albuquerque, and what the role as a student athlete really means above and beyond the playing field. Anyway, I want to thank Adrian, the Dodger fan from Orange County, Huntington Beach, and Steve Davis up the steps in the big chair for giving us this opportunity. Anyway, we're going to take a break, sell you some stuff, and we'll come back and we'll be here with our special guest. Stay with us.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready.
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
Hey everybody, welcome back. I'm Kurt Roth. This is the 505 SVF program, our weekly attempt to get across to you, the audience, the importance and the goal of name, image, and likeness in our collective here, the 505 Sports Venture program. I'm really excited. We're going to have a little different show, but I do have, in my mind, the greatest Lobo basketball player of all time, arguably the greatest Lobo athlete of all time, Kenny Thomas. Kenny, thanks for being here.
Of course, man. You're my guy. Anything for you.
Well, I appreciate that. We're going to talk. We're going to get to a little basketball, a little bit, but we're going to talk some business. But first, I just said some pretty strong. They gave some strong opinions. Greatest athlete of all time at UNM. You can go on. We can talk about number 2 in scoring, and that's because the NCAA kind of robbed you of that. They made you sit out at the end of your career for some nonsense that they screwed up in the beginning.
That happened.
But everything else, you're basically number 1, this and that, rebounding, wins, etc., etc. And 4 years in a row, NCAA, ranked the whole time, win a game every year in the NCAA. And I'm going to finish with this. We'll get back to Lobo basketball at the end. But Kenny Thomas was on the UNM roster for 75 home games. Played in the pit, correct? 75. Lobos won 72 of those 75 games. So when I see Kenny, and I checked this one time before I met him, 72-3.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable.
Thank you. And, man, first off, I got to give this man the most credit in the world. He's always been very supportive of me. He's always been that genuine guy to where, hey, if he wants me to do something, I'm all for it. And being able to come here and be on his show, the 505 SVF, and supporting UNM, like, I'm all about UNM. Obviously, I got my UNM stuff on. Obviously, there's other things that I'm doing that is helping support UNM, which we'll get into. But the fact that I did stay in school for 4 years. I wasn't supposed to stay in school for 4 years. I was supposed to come out after my freshman year. When you talk about the NCAA suing them, they just took a half credit off my transcript last minute, and I was supposed to take it, and I was supposed to sit out. Next thing you know, I'm getting unbelievable support because I committed to stay here in New Mexico before all of that happened, because people probably don't know this, but Dean Smith was going to come here and eat lunch with me, and I passed up on all of that because it just felt right being here in New Mexico. And the reason why it felt right is because I had 18,000 people for a high school game when I went to Albuquerque High for the 1 year, playing under Jim Hoseman, which was unbelievable. So I'm like, I can get 18,000 people a game at UNM, which started from my freshman year, 18,000 people a game. And I had some great teammates over the years. And one thing people don't know is that I got a gold medal as well because I played on the Olympic team when I was in my junior year in the summer before my senior year as well.
There you go. Well, great players. You had great teammates, no doubt about it. We had a really cool coaching staff. But 72-3.
Yeah.
And think about that, Lobos. We're Lobo fans. We're talking about trying to get through a season undefeated. This guy lost less than a game every year he played. So anyway, all right. So we got a lot to talk about, and we're going to talk. This is sort of our economic impact episode. Obviously, you had a great career in the pros.
Yeah.
We were looking at pictures before with some celebrities. I don't know if Adrian can pop up the one picture with. Well, here we go. We're going down.
Michael Mayweather.
There you go.
Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah. And there was a basketball photo up there in uniform that I thought was great. I don't know if we can find that one. With the athlete that is mentioned the most by, there it is. That guy across the ball from you in that picture is mentioned most as an inspiration by current student athletes. Kobe is just like universally loved, respected. You went head to head with him.
Yeah. I mean, I was there. I don't know about head to head.
You were there.
But it was nice to be around such a pleasant person, especially being able to see him do one of the most graceful things in the world, which is being able to see him fly and knock down some amazing shots that I've pretty much never seen before to a certain extent. But the fact that I was able to see Michael Jordan, and I felt like Kobe was a guy that took after Michael Jordan, but was a totally different dynamic type of player when it came to shooting. I felt like Kobe was probably the better shooter. But being able to be on the floor with a guy like Kobe Bryant, and then the fact that he passed away, I mean, I cried. It was one of those things where I thought it was like a national punk thing, which was kind of crazy. But it was an unfortunate situation, him and his daughter. What him and his family have to go through now is an unbelievable process. But he's that guy that's always going to be remembered.
Always. I mean, inspirational. Yeah. Great playing career, no doubt about it. NBA championships, MVPs. But, he played with Shaq. There's Magic. There's Kareem. There's Bird. There's all these guys. All right, he's up there. But I don't think anybody was as inspirational for the constant work ethic that he put in. Jordan was focused and maybe a little nuts, but Kobe's work ethic is unparalleled.
Yeah, because he was a guy that came on the scene at the age of 18. He didn't know what was going to happen, and then next thing you know, after that, it's this dynasty of the Lakers, right, to where he created a winning culture. He brought in a meta, which was Ron Artest, who was my teammate in Sacramento. He brought in a Lamar Odom. He brought in a Paul Gasol, to where there was pieces that he knew that were needed to allow him to be able to win all the championships that he has won, scoring 81-plus points in a game, right?
In the Garden, he did it.
It was unbelievable.
Anyway, all right, I promised we were going to talk economic development.
We could keep going
I had
and going.
to talk baskets. Ron Artest, Lamar Odom, a couple of guys from New York City.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right.
Random. I didn't even set that up like that.
I know. It just happened. Well, it's impossible not to. Michael Jordan was born in Brooklyn. Anyway, we'll come back right after this. We'll take a break.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove, controlling heat up to 40 hours on a single load of wood with a built-in thermostat. See for yourself at either Blaze King showroom, Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Blaze King, and now that's a fire.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some slick-haired outsider posing with borrowed gloves. I grew up here. New Mexico is in my blood. I'm a New Mexican fighting for other New Mexicans. I'm Adam Oki. I'll be your champion in the courtroom.
All right, everybody, welcome back. I promised we were going to talk economic development. We talked nothing but baskets the first 7 minutes. We've got 2 segments. We're going to talk about economic development. Well, the other day, I before I called you, I ran into you at the pit the other night to ask you to come on. I was doing some shopping up in Albertsons, and I walked down the aisle, and boom, I'm like, wait a minute, what is this?
That's
I'm
awesome.
in the alcohol section. There's a Kenny Thomas bottle of wine. Do we have that? There you go.
That's awesome.
All right, man. So tell us what's going on with that. Where's that product from? How's it work?
So, unfortunately, my grapes and the vineyard is not here in Albuquerque. People always ask me and assume that they're from Albuquerque. They're not. I apologize. But at the same time, they're from San Jose, San Martin area, down there by the coast, past San Francisco. The grapes and the vineyard is down there. Partnered up with Gene Guglielmo, which has been amazing, and the process is there. You got my KT logo on there, And then on the back of it, it tells a little story, and then it has pairing options that you can actually pair with meals and different things like that, and desserts and so forth. I have 2 reds and I have 2 whites. So I have a red blend, which is the higher end, which is like $19, I think. And then you have the Cab, and then you have the Sauvignon Blanc, and then you have the Chardonnay. And I'm in the process of coming out with a Pinot Grigio and probably a Champagne, almond Champagne.
Oh.
So, yeah. So I'm developing the KT Legacy Collection, or you can go in there and ask under Kenny Thomas Legacy Wines and Albertsons. Southern Glaziers, Greg Templeton, who's a good friend, has been amazing. That team over there, Southern, has been very supportive. So basically what I've done is that I'm using my name and my brand to go out and create opportunities to where I'm taking my brands to distribution, which is Southern, and then they're helping me get it out. That's how I was able to get into Albertsons. And the nice thing about it is I'm in the majority of all the Albertsons in the whole state, even up in Taos.
Cool.
If you go to my Instagram, Kenny Thomas NBA, I have videos of me like popping up around the city and going in and finding my wine. And then I'll be like, hey, it's in Taos. Come up here and check it out. But I'm expanding. I'm also in the Pit. Up
No
there
doubt.
with the suite level.
Right.
And I'm in Vernon's, and I'm in different restaurants
All over
around
the place. Well,
the state.
There's a bunch more. We're going to get to more business stuff. But what we're trying to do with our student athletes, Kenny is an incredible example. Not only through our name, image, and likeness opportunities to have them really be productive here, but to get them to stay. Now, you finished at Albuquerque High School, so you had some little roots here, and then your 4 years at UNM, 72 and 3. But you've got business, and we're going to get back to that. But your work, tell us about your work with the Boys and Girls Club. Because the charitable deal is what we're using our student athletes to promote also, other than just their name image. We're taking them out because, like Kenny, our guys and gals are kind of celebrities here. You were never allowed to use that before. Now, so tell us about the Boys and Girls Club.
That's a great point that you bring up, because back in the day we weren't able to get paid. There was no NIL, obviously, and then we couldn't work. So I was getting like $420 a month, and then based off of my family situation, I got some Pell Grant money every semester. But now, being able to know how to use your brand to create opportunities for yourself, this is where it's huge for the NIL and the 505 SVF, which is what you guys are doing right now, to where these kids are able to use their name to be able to create opportunities to help build brands and bring awareness to those brands. So myself, I partnered up with the Boys and Girls Club of Northern New Mexico, not Central New Mexico, because there's different areas. There's Central New Mexico, there's a Boys and Girls Club in Santa Fe. I've created a relationship with the Boys and Girls Club of Northern New Mexico, which is Pewaukee, Espanola, and farther north, which is with the CEO, Jay Abeda. I also have a golf tournament with the Boys and Girls Club that my man right here supports every year. We just had the second annual this past September. So look forward to that one, September 6, 2025. We're having another one at Isleta. It's already being planned and figured out right now. But there's a key component that I have started with the Boys and Girls Club of Northern New Mexico, which has already started with Central New Mexico, to where they created an after-school program, to where the governor has given money to where you can take those funds and give it towards the after-school program, to where those funds that, let's just say Taos, which we're probably about to partner up with now, with their school district, to where we bring those funds and help support them, to where the funds that they're putting into the program, they can go take it and do something else with it. It's already being done here with the Boys and Girls Club of Central New Mexico. We're just starting to do it all up north.
All right. Well, what you're seeing, peeps, is that what Kenny's doing is sort of old school NIL, based on your reputation that you couldn't use while you were here. Truth of the matter is, I started to come here from New York his freshman year. My buddy called me and I said, how's this guy look? Is the freshman going to play? He goes, no. He's the real deal. So I started to fly out. There you go. You see the stuff for the golf, what's up there. But I started to fly out, and then that was it. But the truth of the matter is I couldn't. It was they told me I might not be able to meet you. They didn't want me to go, if I took Kenny to lunch, he was getting suspended. I was getting thrown out of the pit. Yeah. It was over. Anyway, hey, we got a lot more to talk about. We'll have one more segment. We're kind of powering through.
I got one thing.
Right after the break.
Okay.
Go ahead. You got 20 seconds.
Be real quick. I just became the Boys and Girls Club Military Ambassador / Native Services Ambassador for the world. So I might be going to the Pentagon, White House. I'm about to be all over the United States.
For the world.
Yeah.
Kenny Thomas around the world. Local and around the world. All right. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back. Thanks.
We've been trained, conditioned, and rewarded for doing more. But people weren't designed for all that doing. Our bodies need to settle into nothing from time to time. Into nothing at all. In a world obsessed with doing more, we invite you to undo.
Got shots? Got shots? Got shots?
During Got Shots, participating providers open their doors for any child who presents for immunizations, regardless of whether they are a patient or whether they have insurance.
Tell my story.
Trust me, I could talk.
Hey everybody, welcome back. Here with Lobo great Kenny Thomas, and we're talking about old school NIL and taking it to the present, and Kenny's all over the place. So we talked about the wine, we talked about Boys Club, but there's more. APD, what are you doing there?
So I've partnered up with APD from the standpoint to where I'm looking at being an ambassador to help support them in the community. There's the gun buyback that's coming up. I'm helping support that, push that initiative. And then there are Toys for Tots, to where they raise money and they go out and they, during the Christmas and holidays, they go out and they buy supplies and gifts for the kids. On top of that, it's kind of like we're also looking at doing some partnerships in the community as far as like block parties and different things like that to bring awareness in the community. I actually did an event with Albuquerque Community Safety and the county. We actually did a block party to where they had me come out with my basketball guy, Josh Kearns, and do a 3-on-3 tournament. And then it turned out to where there was about 500 or 600 people out there. And it was supposed to be a bad day because it was supposed to be raining. So different things like that. And then I partnered up with the county to where they're having me, Bernalillo County, to where they're having me do stuff in the community, going out. And looks like we're about to do some different things with the 988 suicide hotline to bring awareness to that through some social media stuff. And I am working with the Department of Health to where there's some video series that are about to come out talking about 3 or 4 different subjects to where they're using me to help brand those subjects and push it out.
Well, there you go. That's old school NIL, but you didn't have that opportunity. I didn't even want to think about what that would have been. But look, this guy is an example, went and did his pro career, did some stuff out in California after his career. He's back here. That's what we're trying to create with NIL opportunities today. Like, let's look at you've got our football team, 505. SVF has a contract with Devin Dampier. 505 with our basketball contract has a contract with Mr. Dent,
of course.
maybe the best ball player in the Mountain West today.
Oh, yeah.
And those guys, we want to keep them here. We want to make them part of the community. We want to get them involved. Other than the money part, they are celebrities, which you couldn't do when you were in school.
Yeah.
So that's what we're doing. Kenny's now a great example of how to use that name, image, and like, because that's what you're doing.
Yeah.
And you're doing it, A, you're sporting yourself. B, you're doing charitable stuff all over the place.
Yeah.
All right. So we all know Kenny, and we've seen him around, but now you're kind of getting into the media also.
Yeah.
We've got the post-game show. Talk about that. That started.
Well, the post-game show's been great because I don't know if you know this, you do, but before last year, I was doing NBC Sports California for the Sacramento Kings pregame, halftime, post-game show. I didn't do it last year. I'm like, hey, I need some type of media. So me and JC Lopez, we went to KKOB. Next thing you know, the post-game show's back. So I did about 14 games last year.
Right.
It was great. I loved it. I'm like, I need some type of media outlet. And then now here we are. I get the whole season this year, 30-something games all the way up until March. But at the same time, I have the Sports Animal show that I did last year with Jeff Symbieta, to where I go on twice a week from like 9 to 9:30, and that goes until June.
Talk about anything.
Talk about anything, basically what we just talked about. We talk about my wine, if I have appearances. We talk about sports in general, golf, basketball, whatever it may be.
The Dodgers?
Yeah. Go Dodgers. Congratulations. But it's a matter of being able to be heard and having a voice.
Yeah. Well,
and being able to get myself
Well, it's great. And that's what we're trying to develop for our current players. Well, I've been a member. I've called in that show a couple of times.
You need to call in more.
I get it. Well, I'm usually like stuck somewhere after the game, people throwing stuff at me. But all right, we're running out of time, and I want to get you were at the game the other night.
Yeah.
We have a whole new team with some incredible talent. It's early.
Yeah.
Like, what do you see? What do you think?
Well, you want the real or do you want the fluff?
I want the real. Let's go.
What I see, I like what I see. I like what I see. I gotta give Dent respect. The fact that he came back, especially with this portal, he came back to New Mexico, and that shows how committed he is, because he's a big fish in a little pond, and he knows it. And the fact of the matter is that how Nelly came in, he looks stronger from the waist down. He looks more confident. It just seems like he's had more time to develop rather than last year coming in, that whole situation not being able to be here. And then now he's even knocking down his free throws. He was 10 for 12 the other night. Come on, man, that's huge. But I think overall it's gonna come down to who's going to accept certain roles, right? And Patino is going to identify those roles. And if you are able to accept that and go with it and play the right way, I feel like they shoot too many threes. I really do.
If they're not making them,
I really do. I mean, you can sit up here and say if they're not making them, but there's other aspects of the game that come with it. Put the ball on the floor. Right. Go knock down a mid-range shot.
Big
do something different.
Let's get in the paint. All right. Well, that's unbelievable. We're up against the time.
That sucks because we could go forever and ever.
We could go forever. And we'll get you back. Hey, everybody. Kenny Tom, KT Wine. Check it out at Albertsons. Get ready. Call in there. There's a game Friday night. There'll be a post game.
Yes. Call in show 505-243-3333.
There you go. Call in Friday. If I'm lucky, I'll call in from Henderson, from courtside, because I'll be there. Big game, UCLA. Kenny, I want to thank you. We'll have you back soon. Good to see you.
Thanks for having me.
And again, 505sports.org. Join the movement. Let's go. Let's keep New Mexico on top. I'll see you guys next week. Thanks.
Hey,